Welcome to Technado with Don Pezet, featuring sysadmin expert Don Pezet, security specialist Daniel Lowry, and Peter.
Hello and welcome to Technado with Don Pezet. It is a special episode, the last episode of 2020, and we are joined by Don Pezet, member of the naughty list, I assume. Don, how you doing?
I am doing great. You know, if you're going to be naughty, this was the year to do it because, as the media has been telling us, we're about to hit the big reset button, and 2021 is going to be the best year ever.
Also, I was thinking it's a great year to get braces, if you've ever wanted them, with the masks. Just a good time.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, thank you. Daniel, how's it going up there?
It's good. I was just kind of taking in the idea that 2020 was a good year to be on the naughty list because you can get away with something like strong arm robbery and still be on the nice list at that point.
It is weird, be like, did I get my mask before I went in the bank? Let me go back to the car and grab my mask. And we have a special guest here, back from the dead. We thought he was dead. Justin Dennison. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I have a couple of questions. Is it COVID-20 if it continues on into 2021?
It became...
I don't think so, right? But I did read there is a mutation.
Right.
I don't
There's
believe
a new strain.
COVID-19 was about 2019. I thought it was because it was the 19th.
No, it's because it was found.
It was because
in
it found-
20.
Yeah, found in December of last year.
So
which
it's
was
still
fun.
19, I would think, at this point.
Also...
2020's taking all the heat like it did.
Yeah.
The mask thing is kind of fun. Do y'all's masks stink?
What's a mask?
You're supposed to wash them.
Yeah, I think if you've been wearing your mask for a few months, then it's going to be a problem.
That's underwear.
My mask doesn't even need the earpiece. It just sticks right on.
Yeah. Are y'all's masks called Fruit of the Looms?
Yeah.
When it says disposable, you don't have to.
No. I just
Hey,
stick.
how much these things cost?
I dip mine in bleach and put it back on, and then somehow I end up in a Walmart.
So dipping it in bleach is not the same as dipping it in your toilet after you've cleaned it.
Well,
God,
I
we're
guess
already off the rails.
I got some washing to do.
All right, well, we've got some fun stuff to get to today. We wanted to do something a little unique. I went back and I watched a few Christmas specials. I saw the Star Wars holiday special and a few other things and said, how do you do this? Well, we got to go look back at the year and where we all kind of sit around the fire and reminisce about the fun things that happened.
And get B. Arthur to do a singing number.
Exactly.
That would be awesome.
Are we not doing the Kiss Christmas special?
No.
Oh, okay.
Little Kiss.
Oh, Little Kiss.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
big fan of theirs.
I was going to ask which one of us is Gene Simmons.
Can I tell you something?
What?
I don't know if this, I think this is an unpopular opinion. Kiss is a trash band.
So here's, when I was younger, they have some enjoyable songs. The more I learn about Mr. Simmons, the more I
less
hate
of a
that
fan
band.
Well, yeah,
you
not just
are.
the people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's like everything's like three chords and just,
You mean music?
yeah, it's not really.
I like how you're describing most of modern day pop music.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but if you put on costumes, I guess you become famous.
Yeah, I mean, Guar.
Guar. I'd take Guar over Kiss. All right, well, what we're going to do today is we're going to look back at our favorite guests of the year as well as our favorite articles of the year. So we're going to start with our favorite guests of the year. And Don, we're starting with you. So yours is Michael Kennedy, who came on and talked all about Python. Why did you pick him?
Because we had somebody who was a foremost authority in Python, who very, very knowledgeable, and we took our moment to tap into one of the greatest Python minds in the world, and we played the Python game.
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of background here. So we have the Python game, which is where we went around the room and I asked everyone to guess whether an article was about Python, the computer language, Python, the snake, or Monty Python, the comedy troupe. And I'm going to play this intro again because I don't think we'll ever probably get a chance to play Python again, so I just want to play this.
Python.
Or
Python.
I'm not dead.
I was really proud of
the
that.
first one, Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
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 Python.
That was funny. I had to download like a 15-minute YouTube video to get this clip of him saying Python. All right, so let's go ahead and look back at the clip of that episode with Michael Kennedy playing Python. So the first one, the three words are Indian, man, Python. All right, so let's start with Don.
Wait, these three words occur in order
In the headline.
In the headline?
Yes.
Indian man Python. I can't even think of a sentence where that makes sense. I'm going to go with actual snake python.
Snake, okay. Daniel.
I was going to go with snake as well, so.
Snake?
Yep, snake.
All right, Justin.
Snake.
And Michael?
I got to fit in. Going with snake.
Snake, all right. Well, no one's going to pull ahead here, by the way, if everyone is all the same. But the headline here is man kills Indian rat snake and tries to sell it as python meat. Arrested.
Oh, so the 3 words aren't in order.
They weren't in order. You're right.
They're not consecutive. They're
Yeah, that's true. In this one, yeah.
I didn't realize there was such a distinction between rat snake and python snake meat.
I can just see somebody like, you're trying to pass this off as python. I know rat snake when I eats it.
They'd be smaller pieces of python, right? So it'd be like python bites.
Yeah, and that's true. And it wasn't.
Ooh, yes.
It wasn't an Indian man. It was an Indian rat snake. So that was an interesting one. I didn't know that there
Indian rat snake, chopped up man, tried to sell it as a python.
Exactly. Python tries to sell man.
You should see them wield machetes without arms.
All right, well, let's move on to number 2 here. Good work, everyone, on that one. So everybody got that right. Number 2, Python among American. Let's go reverse here. Michael, what do you got? Python among American.
I'm going to go with Monty Python. I don't really
Python.
think that it works, but I want it to work. I want to hear how this comes together.
Justin?
So I'm just going to throw it out there.
I'm going to go programming language.
Okay, Daniel?
I'm going to go with snake again.
Snake. All right, we'll go with what works. Don?
I'm going programming language.
Programming language. All right. Report finds Python data analyst jobs most in demand among American engineers. So this is about the language. So Don and Justin get the points there. And have you guys seen that, Michael? Is Python kind of one of the fastest growing here? It seems the one that everyone's talking about.
It's so interesting. It's a language that's been around for 25 years, going on 30 years. It came out in 1991 or so. And for a long time, it was just kind of, 5th, 6th popularity, flat. And then around 2012, it just took off. And this is all mostly driven by the data science side. Everyone realizing, hey, we can give up, proprietary things like MATLAB and whatnot and come over into the Python space. And it's cheaper, faster, better, all those things. Yeah, so actually Stack Overflow wrote an incredible article called The Incredible Growth of Python, where they map out the chart where it's going past JavaScript and Java and C# and all those languages. And people are like, I don't know, that's some pretty bold predictions they're making. We can look back a couple years now, and actually those were underestimating the popularity of Python. It's definitely going up and up and up. So yeah, I would totally agree with that headline.
And if you've ever bought a MATLAB license, you'll know why people changed to Python.
Yes,
I remember
have,
in
I
grad
know.
school, there was this computer lab that had MATLAB, but it was a collective license for the lab. So if more than like 5 people opened MATLAB at the same time, the 6th person couldn't open MATLAB until someone else
Can't
cut
do
it
their
off.
homework, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's interesting, when I
exactly.
was researching this, the other one that kept coming up was COBOL, because they said during the pandemic, people are going back to that because that's what's running all the unemployment systems.
geez.
That are completely overloaded, and
In
people
demand.
are like, we need COBOL people immediately. All
No
right.
one ever needed COBOL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need them to fix what they did the first time. All right, next up, Python's woke killing. Justin, let's start with you.
Snake.
Snake. All right, Daniel.
I'm going to change it up a bit and go with snake.
All right. I had to look. I'm like, no, he said snake. Oh, I see. He's being facetious. Michael, what do you got?
Programming. Let's go with it.
Programming. And Don.
Man, is that woke like social justice warrior woke or?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go with Monty Python because I don't
Monty
know on this
Python.
one, and nobody else picked it.
All right. John Cleese thinks woke culture is killing comedy. I'm sorry. It says Monty Python's John Cleese thinks. Yeah, so Python is in there. That's why it's Python with an S. So Don's got that one. Don is 3 for 3 so far.
I'm bowling a perfect.
You know
game.
what? When I heard those 3 words, I was like, somebody woke up with a python wrapped around. it.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, that was my immediate.
Don't be
thought.
afraid. That might still come up. We've got a couple articles to go here. Let's get the next
I
one.
awoke with such a clatter, and I was like, that is a big snake.
Ask this Python, what is the matter? All right, next one. Python still missing. All right, Don, you are our leader in the clubhouse, so you go first.
All right. I feel like you're trying to trick us on
I'm
this
trying to
one.
bait you.
All right, I'm going to go with the programming language.
Okay. Daniel.
I'm going to go with the snake language.
Should I just write in snake for the next two? Okay, I'm just going to do that. Justin, what do you got? That's
What were the three words again?
Python still missing.
I'm going to go with programming language.
Okay. That was two.
Can't wait till one of these.
Yeah, put me down for programming as
Programming as well?
Florida man.
No, it's got to start with that, right?
Shotgun.
All right, this article is 4 powerful features Python is still missing.
There we go. That felt like a trick.
They're actually talking about African rock pythons. They're like a left hand, a right hand, a left
Legs,
leg, and a right leg.
They're missing legs still. They are all set on the tail.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm curious, like, what are the
So
four
here
features?
are the things that it's missing. They say they're missing. True constants. Hold on. Where? True overloading and generics. Tail recursion optimizations.
Oh, man.
And multi-line lambdas, which, yeah.
Jeez. No
Man,
multi-line
those are
lambdas?
all 4 things that I'm like, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so
And that's why people keep using it.
I don't know about you. Have you ever worried about tail recursion in Python?
The only time I worried about tail recursion was this class I had to take in Lisp, and I was not happy about it. No, I've
see.
never worried about it.
See?
Yeah.
See, I was worried Justin was asking me there for a second.
Do you remember
No, I'm not worried about that.
there was the big Air Force scandal, right? The tail recursion scandal back in the 90s?
No.
It was
What? All right, Don is still perfect
It's
here.
not fast enough.
Yeah.
All right, we got two more. I know we're out of time on this one, but this is fun, so we're keeping going here. Python Air camera. Michael, let's start with you.
I really want one of these to be about Monty Python. I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Justin.
Python Air camera.
Mm-hmm.
Snake.
Snake. Okay, Daniel.
Snake.
Yeah, I'm gonna grip for snake.
You can't go away from it now because then that's when it will be a snake. And Don.
Man, I am torn. This could be Snake or Monty Python.
This is like the Monte Hall problem.
Or it could be Python on a MacBook Air
No, it couldn't.
with the webcam.
As Justin can attest, cameras don't work in Macs.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go Snake.
Snake. All right. Let's see. Couple wakes up to find Python on air conditioner above bed. Rescue caught on camera.
Of the python or the couple?
Yeah. Who was rescued from whom? We do not know.
It's like the people who adopt a pet, right? Who rescued you.
For some reason, I just imagine the python in like a rocking chair on top of the AC, like cracking a beer, just going,
Well, it's
"What's up,
true.
player?"
We're talking about cold-blooded animals.
Yeah,
Like,
he's not going to do
AC,
anything.
the AC is the
outside's
place
not
you're going to
cold.
go?
Yeah, that's why. That's a matter of fact. That's why I keep my house so cold. If a gator gets inside, it goes to sleep.
There you go. Yeah.
Just take a
Iguanas
few
just
steps
falling
and
in the
it
windows.
stops.
Yeah, yeah.
That's smart.
See,
That's smart.
if you keep it frigid cold in your house, then all those reptiles just
Has that paid off yet?
See, I've never had to deal with it because they get at the threshold and they're like, "That's too cold."
I keep mine warm. It happens all the time. Yeah. All right. So going into the last one here, Don is 5 for 5. Daniel has 2. Justin has 4, and Michael apparently not a Python expert with just
Nope.
2. So I don't know what's going on. We got to talk to the person who does the bookings on this show. All right. The last one here, Tesla Python egg. All right, Daniel, should I put you down for snake there?
You know, everybody expects me to do snake, so that's what I'll do.
All right. Justin,
One
what
of
do you got?
toes.
Monty Python.
Monty Python. Okay, Michael.
Programming.
Programming. And Don.
I'm going to show some solidarity with our guest and go programming.
Programming. Okay.
Feeling better.
Tesla owner finds Monty Python Easter egg in version 10 software update. And this one was fun because I know that Teslas use Python.
Yeah.
So I was like, people might think, oh, I'm
Yeah.
smarter than you, I'm going to go with that. Then you have the word egg in there. So
What's a Tesla?
exactly.
What's
Tesla
an
owner
egg?
finds John Cleese's body.
In a trunk.
Dead from
In
comedy.
egg.
I'm not dead yet.
All right, so let's see. That one was language. So Don
That was not language. That was Monty
No, I
Python.
mean that was Monty Python. I'm sorry.
I was like,
so
no.
Justin got that one.
Great. This is like
Don
a French
didn't.
ice skating judge over
So
here.
throw out the Russian judge. All right, so Don ends with 5. Daniel has 2. Justin has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tied up there.
Ha
But take your time if you need to count mine up. It's okay.
Michael, yeah, we're still tabulating. I'm putting it into an Excel sheet. And
He's
2.
whooping out pandas.
It is 2 as well. So Justin and Don tied. And man, that makes me wish I had kept one as a tiebreaker.
So you always got to have an odd number of questions.
But you all answered the question.
I'm messing with you, Pete.
Okay.
If only we had true constants. we could.
What? Tail recursion.
All right, we're back, and that was a fun one, Don. Good choice. Thank you for that. And I did find another article right now, so we can finally do a tiebreaker here, and pick a new winner. So let's do this one real quick. Puppy from Python. I had to pick which 3 words I wanted to do.
I was like, that's not 3 words, Peter.
Don, what do you got?
Puppy from Python. I said this before. I'm going to say it again. I think you're baiting us on this one, but I'm going to go with snake.
Justin?
Programming language.
Daniel? Snake?
Yes.
Have not changed. Video shows puppy owner rescuing pet from python's grip by swinging it around the yard. Wow.
That's like the hammer throw.
Magnus Ball for Magnuson has grabbed the snake by its tail.
So we're gonna go back and watch that on our own time. But that's something fun to
using
do.
it like a medieval mace.
Yeah. So take out the new iPad you got for Christmas and watch that video of a woman swinging a python by the tail to somehow free her puppy, who I'm assuming was just shot across the room by the end of that.
Well, I mean,
What's funny is when that article ends that the puppy died, not
yeah.
from snake injuries.
Puppy died of natural causes.
You naturally die when you get hit in the head with a brick. Because this lady's slinging a snake around like it's a windmill.
but she's got a real nice purse now.
It's going to be a 2-hour-long episode when we get Justin back in the studio. All right, our next favorite guest of the year is Daniel's. And Daniel, you picked Roe Eliyahu from Salt Security. Why did you pick him?
He was a really good guest. Like
He was.
He just was informative. He was really engaging. And he was super smart. He had a lot of cool things. And I always remember him because he talked about how when he was like 11, he started like developing professionally. And I'm like, oh, you are really, really smart.
See, I thought you picked him because you were worried that he could kill you with his bare hands.
No. He can't kill me with his bare hands. No one could do that. You know that, Peter.
No one ever said the M word,
Unless
but
he
I think
had
we all assumed
actual bare hands.
massage.
Then that's possible.
Maybe he did. Did we see his hands on camera?
You know, I don't know that we did.
Let's check out a quick clip, and now we can use that time to see if we actually see his hands. So let's roll that clip of Roe.
But when you have a non-secured API, you potentially could be handing out your entire database to people and not even know what's happening.
And is this something you come across a lot, Roy, this kind of same problem at other companies?
We see it in almost every company. So probably 9 out of 10 companies that we are interacting with or working with in any phase, if we do any type of vulnerability research, 9 out of 10, we find critical vulnerabilities in a matter of days, of 2 days even, like Uber one.
All right. I didn't see hands.
No hands.
Yeah, so I think we solved it. He has bare hands.
He has bare hands.
Fact.
And not B-A-R-E.
No.
We're talking, rawr, rawr, I hibernate during the winter and I
Yeah.
cut open hikers during the summer.
Yeah.
And he's out to get Daniel.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Rawr.
And that was a safe choice by Daniel to protect his ass. All right. Next, Justin, you picked Ben Brennan from QStack. Why?
So, number one, he had guitars in the background, if I remember correctly. He had some really nice guitars. But number two, I remember him saying, I really like data-driven, evidence-driven decision-making. And which I love because I've been in other places where they're like, you know what? We'll just figure it out when it happens. And then it ends up being a giant, pardon my French, shit show. And I like the fact that he doesn't like that also. So.
And we talked about Flat Earth with him, too, which was fun. So let's take a quick look at a clip from Ben Brennan's episode.
What is the IT equivalent of being a flat earther?
You know, I would compare it to like back in the Novell NetWare days. There were a lot of NetWare admins who didn't bother learning Windows or Linux, and they just said, no, NetWare is the best, and we're not going to change, and that's what we're going to use. And then most of them ended up out of jobs before too terribly long because the technology field kept moving and they didn't move with it. So that's what pops into my mind when I hear IT flat earther.
And what is the truth?
Well, the truth is out there, and if you can play the X-Files music out there. But in my opinion, IT flat earther, I was just trying to think of, now with what I do, like I do like speaking, and I'm like basically in IT sales now. I'm talking to a bunch of CIOs. And so sometimes I'll meet with people and they'll just have an allergy to the truth. And it's sad because like what I found with a lot of teams as far as like, just customer experience, there's so much low hanging fruit that usually if you can just admit that you could do a little better and that there might be some things you don't know, we have huge success with these teams. But to literally quote one CIO I was talking to before, he's like, why would I want a tool that tells me more things to fix? Like, why would I want that? And I think, yeah, you would think that, but also, he did get paid a lot more than at least I ever will. So maybe the stock options made it worth that. But I think that was just, to me, I was trying to think of an equivalent of like someone that, and no offense to flat earthers out there, just in theory, if the flat earth thing was wrong, that's what I'm comparing it to. And it's just, I think an IT flat earther is just someone that, refuses to use science or math to actually, have empirical data to make decisions by.
I feel like the flat earth community makes up a very small but very vocal percentage of people out there. But the person you kind of described sounds like a lot of IT people. Do you think this is a big problem in the IT world?
Right. And I've only been to the IT Flat Earther convention a couple of times, but I can tell you it's widespread. Just kidding. Obviously, it's not a real thing.
That's the Microsoft convention.
I thought it was RSA.
Yeah. So it's going around a lot. And listen, it's not necessarily everyone's fault that thinks that way. And I even say that in the article. Like, if you are a flat earther, don't worry. We'll talk you down and we'll get you out of it. But you basically just have to employ some basic science and really just be open to the fact that you might not, as an amazing, let's say you're an amazing sysadmin and you can have record set for like keyboard shortcuts in Vim or something like that. You might be awesome at IT, but that doesn't necessarily qualify you to have perfect empathy for everyone else in the organization. And so what this kind of does, that's what we made a Q-Stack for, right? To kind of, bring data and make basically empiricize empathy, right? Like teach people how to have empathy in a really easy way. But a lot of folks just are not open to new ways of thinking. And if you tell them anything different, they're not down with it,
All right, another good one there. Great choice, Justin. And Don, you're a fan of his as well, right?
Yeah, that episode obviously was a while ago, but that day I ordered his book, which I actually have here in hand, which is Badass IT Support, which is pretty cool because, a lot of these books are pretty boring to read, but with his, it's speaking my language.
Did you read it? Because I buy books just to put on the shelves so people are impressed, but I don't read them.
I have actually read half of it.
Okay.
So I don't want to lie and say I've read the whole thing, but I will finish it.
So if you have seen it, do not give spoilers. Or
don't give away the end when the entire help desk dies. It's tragic.
I thought it was a choose your own adventure. It's like, what do you do when someone calls with a problem? Go to page 6 to tell them to F off. Okay, let's see here, run over to, you lost your job. Well, that was a short story.
Page 6 just has a bookmark. He's turned to that page so many times.
All right, well, I will get now to my favorite guest of the year, and my favorite is Jeffrey Snover, the inventor of PowerShell over at Microsoft, and he was my favorite guest just because, we reached out to him just like throwing a dart, across the room just to see if it would hit, and he actually replied. We were like, "Oh, for real? You want to come on this podcast?
Have you watched it?"
So exactly. So I think Don had this idea that we play mean tweets with him, kind of like Jimmy Kimmel's show. So that is what we did. We had him read mean tweets about PowerShell and reply to those. So let's take a quick look at that.
So we want to read you some of the tweets that were hard to find. There's not many people out there. We've helped more than we've hurt here. So we want to read you some of these and get some feedback and see if you agree. So Don, you want to go first?
All right, I'm going to take the first one. This one is from Twitter user Cartoon. High level of technical. Well, I guess we have no idea based on the name. And what he or she said was, PowerShell really kind of sucks for string parsing. Feels so much more limited. Maybe I just don't know how to use it well enough, but apparently they fell asleep while
Sleeping? Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, first, I'd say a little too specific with that comment. Text parsing sucks. That the whole point of PowerShell is, hey, don't parse text, deal with the objects, and just refer to the properties you want. So that's sort of the heart of it. The degree to which you end up having to parse text means, hey, somebody delivered you something in a way you didn't want to have. And so you go talk to them and say, hey, give me an object instead. The second is, actually, we have about the same capabilities of text parsing as Linux, so regular expression support, etc. So it's a little bit more verbose than awk and sed and grep, but it's there. And new now with the WSL, Windows subsystem for Linux, those tools will be available and callable from PowerShell. So happy days. Your life is going to get better.
Speaking of WSL, I think that's the next mean tweet that I have here. It says, "Dear Microsoft, PowerShell sucks. Stop trying to make us use it. WSL supports Bash integrated with what? Hashtag WSL, hashtag Linux, hashtag PowerShell." And
so here's, and who's that?
Nazgul Senpai.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I'm like, I don't even know how to say that.
Nazgul Senpai. Here's the deal. Like, nobody's forcing you into anything, or really, honestly. The only thing we ever care about is the success of our users. Now, it's interesting to think through. At some point, I did the back of the envelope calculations, and we had spent hundreds of millions of dollars on PowerShell. And here's the point. Monetization strategy equals zero. I mean, from the beginning, our heads and our hearts were always pure on this. Make people successful. So when we reported it, when we delivered it, we didn't say, oh, you have to have the latest version of Windows to get it. No, we got it available there, and then we made it available down level. Now we've made it available on Linux. So all we care about is the success of your products, success of you. At some point, we had somebody say, hey, when should I convert my VB scripts? I said, my friend, why would you ever? Like, if they're successful, if you like VB script, if you can do what you want, go with God, use that. If you Bash, it makes you successful, go with God, use that. Our observation was, boy, there's a lot of people that can't be successful with those tools. Text parsing, too hard. Bash, too obscure, etc. And so we have a set of tools, and if they work for you, great. But do whatever works for you. There's no religion here. There's no passion. The only passion is like helping you be successful.
Well, you guys heard it here first that God uses Bash and Visual Basic Script.
That was my takeaway.
Well, funny you should say that. So well, we were trying to be like really hardcore about the style guide, right? A certain limited set of nouns, set of verbs, etc. And so the joke was, what would Jesus type? When Jesus wants to delete a process, what would he do? He'd say get process where handle count equals. Okay, well. Give Jesus what he wants.
All right, Mike, what do you got?
All right, Jeffrey. Yep, I've got one from @Burgers. He says the only way to attach an existing OS disk or VHD to a new Azure VM is through PowerShell, and that sucks.
Yeah, you are correct. Here's the model. We want to make you successful using whatever tool you want to use, and the reality is life is lumpy. Life is lumpy. That is a commitment. We're going to get there over the course of time. And then, again, what you'll see is that some organizations are a little bit ahead on this tool, other organizations a little bit ahead on that tool. But it is our commitment to make the set of functions available independent of the tool you use. The only caveat with that is the command line and scripting stuff will always be the full comprehensive set, and the GUI will be a subset. That's just because of simplicity, etc. But yep, and progress is lumpy, and it's always going to be. The world is a messy place. It always has been. It always will be. But we'll get it cleaner year after year.
All right, go with God.
And then make it messy again.
All right, so the last one here, my favorite. That's why I picked this one. It says those who invented PowerShell must have been using bad drugs, and their brain got damaged severely. #PowerShell. #sucks. And this is from Levlin. So now that I know you were at the Elvis Presley Memorial Hospital, I feel like I have an idea of what drugs you were on, but
No, you know what it was? It was like eating out of a vending. Have you ever eaten? Your only meals came out of a vending machine for a week. Oh my God. So yeah, that probably did damage me. Here's the thing. Like I get what you're saying. Like so, if you take a look at PowerShell, it's largely informed from Unix. It's largely informed from VMS, AS400, and some others, right? But VMS DCL, right? When I first started using that, I was a Unix guy, and then I started using this, and I was like, oh, I hate this thing, I hate this thing, I hate this thing. And I kept trying to make it be the Unix shell, and it wasn't. And when I finally stopped, got my head out of my butt, and said, okay, just deal with the tool the way it is. What is it? What's its point of view on things? I realized, wow, this is an amazing tool, and I learned to love it. So my guess is that you're in that resistance phase, like it's not the thing I'm used to, as opposed to. And by the way, if you don't have to use it, you use your tool that you like. But I would suggest to you, just like, hey, stop resisting it, stop trying to make it be what you're used to, learn the core concepts, and I think you'll like it. I mean, certainly people have. It's really nice and consistent. You know, Jesus can use it. Just walk up.
Well, I think you took those very well. I was worried. You know, I didn't want to make you cry or anything in tweets, but you handled this well. So thanks for being a good sport with that.
You should heard the mean tweets I got from Microsoft executives trying to bring a command line interface into Windows. I had one just tweeting about this recently about the guy who ran Windows ME. He was the exec that told me, Jeffrey, exactly what part of effing Windows is confusing you? It's like, oh.
Well, I mean, the guy running ME, let's not really take anything special.
Connect the dots, my friend. You got it.
And that was a lot of fun. He was a good sport about that. But it actually was educational as well, because he was able to respond to some of the people that, I mean, most of the people just don't understand how PowerShell works, it sounded like.
Did you tell him it was actually just me? I had like 30 Twitter accounts going, PowerShell's dumb.
See, now that would be commitment to the gig, because some of those tweets were like 10 years old, so you like really had to focus.
Playing the long game.
All building up to that moment.
It's the only time I saw the future. I knew I was going to be on a podcast.
He read a script in PowerShell.
It only took me 10 years to write it.
Justin comes back from the future and tells himself that. That's what he picks.
Like, Justin!
You will be on a podcast.
I'm like, you can't tell me like lottery numbers or PowerShell. That sounds dumb.
It is.
It is.
All right. That was a lot of fun, and a lot of great guests this year. I mean, I guess it would be 50 guests, because we did 2 weeks of this crap.
2 weeks of bullshit, but the rest of it.
50 guests.
Quality work.
Thank you to all of those guests. And we also did, well, if we did 5 articles a week, you know, that's more based on math. Justin, quick math.
5 articles a week times 50.
I think you're gonna say 5 farts a week.
That's 250. Well, you never know. You never know.
Right.
We've been separate in many of these episodes. You're like, what are you doing?
5 farts a week is a lot.
Was the mic on?
Plus, I need you to stop rolling for a minute.
Can you mute my mic?
That's why Justin's got a fan. All right, well, let's go down the list of our favorite articles. And Don, it is Technado with Don Pezet. So we'll start with yours. Do you want to read the headline, or do you want me to? I've got it here.
You know, actually, I'll let you read it, because I know you love this one so much.
Yeah, this is from ArsTechnica.com. A $350 anti-5G device is just a 128 megabyte USB stick. Teardown finds 5G BioShield uses, quote, quantum nanolayer technology to restructure reality itself. Don, why'd you pick this one?
Because it's total bullshit, right? Much like our highlight episode. So, you know, there were a number of conspiracy articles cited throughout the year about people terrified that 5G was killing them. So I could have picked any of those, but this was the best because it was total snake oil. It's just people reselling a USB key with a hologram on it, and apparently the hologram protects you. So that I thought was just bizarre. It seems like people would see right through this stuff, but they were selling it at I don't know, several pounds, but $350. That's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, and you know, I wanted to kind of do follow-ups here on these. So we have looked, and the price has dropped.
Ooh, Black Friday sale.
Yeah, which is amazing that this is still available for sale. Is the more amazing part.
How is not like some regulatory commission stepped in and went, hey, so here's what's up. Usually we're cool with most everything being out there, But we flagged this as super duper bullshit.
This is whack job.
Take us down.
It's down from 309 pounds to 185 pounds. So almost
lost
cut
a
in
lot.
half.
I was on The Biggest Loser.
Yeah. I don't think that.
So I did do some additional research, and the 128 megabytes is what makes that hologram work. If it's 256, doesn't work.
That makes sense.
Very, very precise.
Yeah.
I also went. I spent way too much time on their site yesterday, and they have they basically responded to. There's the BBC article that originally came out that all the other agencies picked up, but they respond to it and say, "Hey, back off. We've got facts." And they've got a whole page of their studies backing this up. And I was telling Daniel about this one where they hooked it up to a battery. They've got photos. This is exactly how a scientific paper is normally written, just in Microsoft Word with a couple photos. But they said a guy went across the street 20 meters away with it plugged into the laptop, and this woman's
chakras
balance was still balanced. And then when they take it out of the computer, this is my favorite part. When they take it out of the computer, unpowered, this hunk of plastic and metal still works in a 2-meter range there.
That's a pretty good radius.
So all I can think of is these people have been hit with a sock full of crystals. That's the only reason they believe it. They're like, this couldn't.
And then
it's gonna block 5G.
They smoke those crystals.
in a line that sounds like it's out of a review for the Human Centipede movie. It says, "We are now forming a human chain of 6 people who hold hands. The first person is 1 meter from Catherine, and I'm the last in this chain, and I hold the key in my hand. The key field is transmitted through all the people to Catherine."
The key field?
Yes, that's what they call the...
So this is like a natural phenomenon that they've tapped into, like the magnetic field.
It's not. It's the fifth universal field, right? It's the four. They're like
quantum.
Well, we got weak nuclear, strong nuclear, we got
electromagnetism,
and we got key fields.
This study was done by a pharmacist, so if you're just going to make fun, you should go read Jean-Pierre Brehet's study.
Listen, Einstein was a patent clerk.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't count if he's on propofol when he writes.
He was super smart.
Here in the U.S., we do have the Consumer Protection Agency, I think is what they are, or administration, something. But in the U.K., they have the Advertising Standards Authority, and obviously this does not stand up to what they're advertising. So I'm curious why they haven't been shut down.
Because prove them wrong. Try to prove a negative. All right. Our next one is this was from Daniel. Daniel's favorite article, and let's see.
Let's be honest, it wasn't just my favorite.
No,
article.
I wanted to pick this one, and I was mad that you replied to my email before.
So Don had actually Don actually took mine for.
Did he?
Yeah, I started to go with the Python, Michael Kennedy guy, and then he was like, "Oh man, he got Michael Kennedy." So Rowie was a good second choice.
Yeah, this one is. About, let's see, the headline is gone now, but here it is. 6 former eBay employees charged in federal cyberstalking case targeting Natick couple. So that's a town up in, I think, Massachusetts it was, because this couple had a blog about eBay, a newsletter that they put out, and, sometimes nice, sometimes, honest reviews of eBay, and eBay got pissed.
Yeah, they did. They did.
So I go ahead.
They basically started forwarding Ed Gein's mail to these people.
So, I remember this because I'm just trying to imagine, like, what kind of business meeting? Like, was it a Zoom call where they're like, "Listen, this Natick couple got this email, right? You know what I think we should do? Ship them a bunch of dead pigs.
Yeah, scorched earth."
What was like living spiders? They sent pornography to the neighbors with their name on it.
And we did figure out that it is referred to as bestiality.
Yeah,
in that episode.
bestiality. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah. That's
right.
That's when Justin tricked me into typing that into my computer.
Boy, has this spam box been weird ever since.
Good memories.
You should see the Facebook targeted ads I'm getting now.
Yeah.
Why do I need a bridle?
Yeah. The best was when they sent I believe they sent the wife a book, which was how to deal with the loss of a spouse.
Yeah. So I found an update from this on the Justice Department's website, actually on justice.gov, and one of the first people has pled guilty to aggressive cyberstalking, and there's a couple of things I learned in this. First of all, it was a 3-stage plan that they did. The first stage was sending just a few random things like a preserved fetal pig or fetal pig, a bloody pig Halloween mask, and a book on surviving the loss of a spouse. So that was phase 1. The second phase was sending private and public tweets criticizing the newsletter and threatening to visit the victims in their hometown. And and then third phase was actual in-person surveillance,
Murder.
which is where they ended up getting caught, because that's when they got reported to the police. But my favorite part of phase 2 is they were going to send in one of their own in their group who works for eBay and was a former Santa Clara police captain. He was going to come in and look like a white knight from eBay to be like, I will stop this for you, so that they would look kindly on eBay from that point
I thought
over.
you were saying white knight like KKK stuff.
Could be.
Also, is there any other type of cyber stalking other than aggressive? Is there passive aggressive cyber stalking?
Yeah, I
mean, I guess your hair looks nice today.
That's when you're just trying to look up what your high school girlfriend is up to.
All right, so this one is still going on. People are still in the process of being pleading out or actually going to trial. So hopefully we'll have some more updates on that one in the new year as well. But fantastic story. I mean, not for the people.
No, it was a horrible story. Yeah.
And those 6 eBay employees,
former.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Former.
Excuse me.
No, they're still employed.
Yeah, the legal fees is getting astronomical.
They got a union over at eBay.
Yeah, they've been dipping in their pension.
All right, Justin told me, he said, just pick one of the crazy stories and that'll be mine.
Yeah.
So I looked back at our tinfoil hat
Man
segment.
sews.
No. We have PS5 reveal met with conspiracy theory that presenters were CGI. And that was just batshit crazy. But basically, so we've got the PS5 is out now. Nobody can find it. If you got one for Christmas,
Yeah, I mean,
you must have
unless
killed someone.
every time a new console comes out, somebody gets stabbed with a sharpened screwdriver. Has that happened yet?
To prove, yeah.
Yeah.
But so in the release video, because you couldn't do an actual live event for the release this year because of COVID, people were saying that the people on the screen looked like AI, looked like deepfakes essentially. And that's really all anyone could talk about coming out of that announcement, as opposed to what the actual PS5 does, which, I mean, that would have been impressive if they said, no, this was made on the PS5.
Yeah, I think it was wishful thinking. Like, here's this new console coming out. It's supposed to be more powerful than anything before. So, hey, maybe it's so powerful you can't tell the difference. But the reality is, the consoles, they don't get that much better year after year. So it was just people in front of cameras.
You know what's crazy? I really thought deep fakes would play more into our election.
I really did too. Or maybe they did and we just don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, none of these people were real. None of them.
Trump and Biden have both been dead for 6 months.
Very believable.
Yeah. What? And it was generated on the PS5.
Yeah. Ironically, it was an AI botnet that started the whole rumor.
Yeah. And that AI botnet powered by the new Xbox.
That's right. Get your new Xbox on eBay.
That's right.
All right.
Now packaged with a box of live spiders.
Yeah. And a pig fetus.
God, good eating. Speaking of Christmas dinner, I am still full. All right, our last article here. This one is mine. Of course, I picked this one.
You did.
From Vice.com. Twitter hack Zoom hearing court. Excuse me. Let me start that again.
Way to ruin the best
Twitter
idea.
hack Zoom court hearing interrupted by ass-eating porn video.
Is that why you've been watching like a bunch of legal stuff on your computer?
Sure.
You're just waiting for the Zoom bombs.
You're like,
yeah, why not? Why not? It's funny. I went.
It's happening. He pulls the curtains.
So my favorite part of this is in this Vice article that I think Don was the one that sent originally. I scrolled down and I hit play on a video embedded in this article, not realizing I would get actual ass eating in that video, but I did. So I went to try to find an update.
it is Vice, and everybody's got one.
Yeah, exactly. I went to find an update on this, and I searched a little bit for the judge, and I found an article from like 3 days before that he did in the Tampa Bay Times talking about how great everything is now that they can do stuff remotely on Zoom.
Yeah,
and it was like right before this came out, which
and then
is
somebody did a deep fake of the judge doing ass eating porn.
Yeah. Also,
I think we have a quota for how many times we can say that.
If you want to, it's analingus.
Analingus. Search that. How do you spell that? Is that like
all right. Yeah. So here you go, Peter. Type this in.
No. No. And so
Well, the big takeaway, the big update on this one is that every Zoom meeting now either requires a password or a waiting room. So you're no longer allowed to have it where people just automatically go into a room anymore, thanks to this particular incident.
I just noticed the lower third on this. The story
the word eating is censored out, which is odd.
Yeah. I get a $, but
we're over here censoring the thing and
yelling
it left and right.
So let's show a clip of that video here.
I'm only saying it because it's right here in the article name.
Yeah. Daniel's getting shirts printed.
Yeah. But so the follow up on this article, though,
There's the judge.
I did want to see if this guy had been sentenced yet. And it doesn't look like he has, but there is a documentary that is out from the New York Times. They have a series of documentaries, I guess, and it's out available on Hulu to watch now about how this guy actually went about the hack. The hack of Twitter where he hacked Kanye West and Joe Biden.
This was during the court hearing for those teenagers that got caught.
Yeah, this was
taking
this
over
was
like
his
Twitter
bail
accounts.
hearing.
Yeah. So I thought you were going to say it's about him just injecting analingus porn into a court hearing. He's like, I got an hour and 30 minutes of a story to tell you. Everybody sit down.
The follow up is the couple featured in the video still together today.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
good to know.
that'll bond you.
Yeah. The couple that.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're done.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing is nobody listens to these end of the year ones.
I tell you what, this is a way to put a done stamp on 2020.
Yeah, and probably 2021 if HR hears any of this.
You think we'll like our new jobs?
Justin, take
Justin's
us with you.
already know.
Joke's on you. I don't work here.
As you make your video resume, you can.
I'm going to Zoom bomb your next client meeting.
So I'm excited to see what 2021 holds, and if it can beat those those 4 headlines and those 4 guests and the rest that we had this year. Couple things to tell you about before we put a bow on this one. We've got a webinar coming up, the top search to get you started for the career changers of 2021. It's with Network Chuck, famous that we learned for his coffee as well as his YouTube channel, and that is taking place on January 14th, 2021 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So head over to itpro.tv/webinars.
I think HR's already got us.
It's the end of the year. They're turning the lights out.
HR's like, we got to save money. The legal fees around this are
shut this mother down.
For those of you just listening, the lights have gone off on Justin and Daniel, which is a metaphor.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised it took this long.
I'm disappointed that their mics are still on, though. So one last thing, head over to go.itpro.tv/Technado, and there you can get a coupon code for 30% off the lifetime of your personal plan at IT Pro TV, as well as request information about a team trial. And I feel like it's weird doing promos after talking about
I feel like I'm escaping a prison with this light on me.
Yeah, there's one light shining on Daniel.
Justin, you were missing a great opportunity to do the creepy stalker face for our viewers.
Well,
Let's get that close up.
I know we can't really see anymore, but I want to thank you for coming in the studio here and creeping us the hell out.
Reliving the
Remember, this is
professionalism we
mostly
bring
an audio
here.
podcast.
You know what I love about our podcast? It's so adult.
It is. It is.
Yeah, grown up.
I mean, it has life lessons. I'm just wondering, is 6G coming out in 2021?
Oh, it better. We need more articles.
Yeah, because
that'll give us
I
COVID-21.
heard that if you get 256 megabytes on that hologram, it also blocks 6G.
Well, I think all of the Bill Gates vaccine chips have 6G.
I will tell you, I saw a meme where it was Sloth from the Goonies.
Oh my goodness!
That went, I got my vaccine. How about y'all?
The best thing I saw, I don't know if it was Onion or one of the fake Onion ones, but it says woman gets first COVID vaccine in the U.S., immediately goes buys a new Xbox. It's like, well, I guess my arm is taking me into Best Buy to get this. So that's how you win the console wars, is by
vaccination,
betting it in people's chips. So we joke, but please get vaccinated. Yeah. Please vaccinate those around you if they don't in their sleep.
Are we going to end on a reasonable note?
Wait a minute.
I have a problem with this.
Are you talking about forcibly vaccinating people? I think that's called assault and battery.
This is my help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed and neutered.
Yeah.
Help control the world. Vaccinate people while they're sleeping.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that at the end of every
I
show.
think that's libelous, isn't it?
Probably. Yeah. But again, no one listens to these wrap-up shows, especially not after I do the promos. That's when they start tuning out. So,
The opinions
again,
expressed, we're not
Justin, thank you for coming back in, and I hope you won't be a stranger in 2021. That we can get you in here a few more times.
Try not to be. Who knows? Maybe I'll just start kicking in the door while I do another podcast. Like, what y'all going on around here?
Justin, you need to put some pants on.
And,
I've been trying to find them.
That's why we have the desk there. And Daniel, thank you for all your good work this year.
Well, thank you, sir.
And looking forward to a great 2021 with you. And Don.
You're
I
fired.
know, whatever.
Don, I'm going to come in there and help you pack up your stuff.
The namesake of the show. Thank you, Don, for being the one that reads the articles each week.
Yeah, well, it's been a phenomenal year. We had a lot of articles to talk about, which is great, and I'm sure 2021 will be the same. Justin, we haven't replaced you, and you're a hard person to replace. So, hopefully your new job sucks totally, and you'll come back
crawling
to us one
back.
Day,
Please.
And we will not accept you.
I'd be like, is that a homeless? That's Justin.
I always put a couple coins in his cup here when I walk by.
Yeah, everybody thought I was going to bigger, better places. I'm at the corner of 13th and 6th.
You're the Salvation Army guy.
Gotta pay the bills.
Saw Justin ringing a bell.
I'm a young Santa.
All right, everybody. Well, we hope your holidays have been great and you have a safe and happy new year, and we'll see you in 2021 right here on Technado with Don Pezet. Bye-bye.